Hello and welcome back to the Man's Bar, conveniently located under the man's kitchen. If you've noticed anything different, it's a little brighter in here. I just got some studio lights, so it's going to take this from a little dim lit, a little hard to watch, elevate the lighting a bit for you. That way you have something better to look at while you listen to me tell you all about my favorite and not so favorite whiskeys. So last week, a little recap, we deviated from our normal format and we did a battle of whiskeys. We did Crown Royal Apple versus Canadian Club Apple. And there clearly was a winner between the two. They're both good, but one was much better. And if you're not sure which one that was, then watch the video up over my shoulder. And you can find out which one was better, and then you can come back and watch this video. And in a second, I'll show you what whiskey we're doing today. And we're back. Before we continue with today's video, I ask everybody, if you like this video, then click the like button. If you like my channel, please hit subscribe. And so YouTube gives you notifications, click the bell icon. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That way you can get quality updates when I update the social media accounts. And now we're on for tonight's whiskey. Old Forester Straight Kentucky Bourbon. Now, for any of you that follow my Twitter account, there's only 30 of you out there, but if you're one of them and you watch these videos too, then you'll know, or you won't remember because it was a while ago. And I've only had one glass out of here so far. I think it was like up to here when it was sealed. But I tweeted about it, and I said, Old Forester, not a fan. And then about 10 minutes later, I said, changed my mind. I kind of liked it. And what had happened between my first tweet and my second tweet was about 10 minutes had passed. I sat the glass down. I went and did something. I can't remember what I was doing. When I came back out, it opened up. It had a chance to breathe. There was a difference. So that's why when I shoot these videos, I always do an initial taste, and then I come back to it after a few minutes. So, right away, we'll notice that it's pretty leggy. Now it does say that it is a 86 proof, so that should be, what is that, 86 proof? Yeah, 43% alcohol by volume, making this a much weaker bourbon than, say, Knob Creek, but a little stronger than Crown Royal or Canadian Club when you're looking at ryes that are 40%, and stronger than the flavored Canadian Club or Crown Royal that ring in at 35%. So color-wise, oh, and I do like these new lights. I can see a lot better. Yeah, I'm going to say that we have a light amber that moves into fades out into a straw with a translucent rim. On the initial taste, or on the initial smell, oh, I actually put my nose in it that time. That's a little funny. A little light honey, and hay, but in a good way. So right away on the front, it's got almost like a mushroomy, earthy kind of flavor right off the front. And I'm digging it now. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset when I tweeted not such a fan right away. I'm digging it a little more right now. A little earthiness. When it hits the back of the palate, You can tell that there's some alcohol in here. That's I would call it. I'd call it like a medium to medium low burn. It's not as smooth as, say, Maker's Mark, which I feel just gave a warmth. I remember the Maker's Mark was more just a warming sensation in the back. This has a slight burn to it. So we're going to sit this down. We're going to try it as a whiskey and Coke. So we're going to pour in a little bit of whiskey. And remember, when you're making a pot mixture, you want to keep your ratio 4 to 1. 4 parts pop to 1 part whiskey. So we kind of have to come up to here almost with the pop. Okay. All the dominant scents that were there just smelling the whiskey before, they're protruding through the Coke. I'm not really smelling a lot of the pop. That's good. That's got a lot more, I'm gonna say, sometimes you say, you know, like you're covering your whiskey with your pop. Sometimes that's what you're going for because it's a bad whiskey and that's all you have access to. I'm gonna say this is the opposite. The whiskey is elevating the Coke. That's definitely what I'm gonna say. The whiskey's bringing the Coca-Cola to the next level here. Definitely, it just turns into, you don't even really notice anything in the back of your throat because you have that acid in the pop. I guess the phosphoric acid is what gives you that bite at the back, and that is overpowering any sensation you're gonna get from the alcohol as it hits this part of your throat here. At least that's where I feel the alcohol. I know I can hold liquor in my mouth as long as I want, but it's when it passes here I get that burn. So I feel that the pop is masking it, and then I feel that the flavors of the Old Forester, that earthiness, it's really elevating the cola, because cola predominantly is supposed to be like a caramel flavor. It's one of the key ingredients. It's like, I think like the second or third ingredient is caramel or caramel flavor. Yeah, carbonated water, sugar. Yeah, sugar and then caramel color. So I know caramel color gives you the color, but sugar is the second ingredient there. And I think they caramelize it a bit, and it's supposed to have like a caramely flavor in your cola. And the earthiness here really balances it quite well. Oh, okay, so I'm going to mix up my Manhattan, and I'm actually going to stop and restart the camera. Okay, we're back, and we just mixed up our Manhattan. Like always, the Manhattan recipe is 2-1-2. 2 parts whiskey, 1 part sweet vermouth, and 2 dashes of bitters. And just in case you're wondering, 212 is the area code for Manhattan. Now, before we taste this, there is one other thing I wanted to talk about for the Old Forester. I almost forgot. The brand has been around for 150 years, so says the label, and they are the first brand of bourbon that was sold in sealed glass bottles to preserve their integrity. I'm assuming back in the day, other bourbons that were being sold not in sealed glass bottles may have had some tampering. Maybe they were cutting it with something. You'd maybe get wooden barrels of them, come to your bar or tavern, and you just start, after you get halfway through, just top some water in it so you're good to go for another week or so. I'm not sure. I didn't live back then, but could be. So, Old Forester, first one to seal their bottles. Alright, let's try the Manhattan. I put my nose in it again. You know why I'm putting my nose in it? Because my whiffer is a little bit off. I have a wee bit of a plug nose, so it's trying to go in deeper to get better smell. But right off the nose, the earthiness that I talked about on the first flavor there, the first taste, definitely complementing the bitters very well. That's smooth and refreshing. The sweet vermouth does an excellent job of actually adding in just enough volume of liquid here that I'm actually just getting a warmth in the back of my throat from the alcohol. I'm not even getting any little bit of bite or burn. The bitters and the earthiness of the Old Forester go very well together. I'm picking up all kinds of flavors in here. I'm definitely, I don't know why, but the word mushroom keeps wanting to come to mind. But not like light button mushrooms. I'd say maybe some creminis or some porcinis. I'm definitely getting a much more earthier taste there. This is actually really good. This might be my new favorite. All right, so one last thing to do is go back to the opened up original pour here that's been sitting here now for about 10 minutes. Yeah, it's like clay, kind of a clay smell. Yeah, clayish, and just a hint of honey. Not a lot. So now we'll move to the scorecard and see how it stacks up against all the other whiskeys.
On the scorecard, we see that Old Forester got a 7 out of 10 on the rocks, 8 out of 10 as a pot mixer, 7.5 out of 10 as a cocktail, leaving us with an overall score of 7.5 out of 10, or a 75. Now, if you first pour yourself a glass of this and you don't necessarily like it, just like I did, I'd suggest letting it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Really let it open up and breathe. And you too will find a lot of rich, earthy nuances in the flavor of this well-made straight Kentucky bourbon.
Alright, and there you have my scores for Old Forester. You can see that it stacks up quite well against all the other whiskeys that we've reviewed so far. Join us back next week when we dive back into the man's bar for another great whiskey tasting. Remember, if you like this video, click the like button. If you like my channel, please hit the subscribe button and ding the bell icon so YouTube sends you notifications when I update and post new videos. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, that way you can get cool content updates when I update the social media accounts. Thanks for your attention, and have yourself a great evening.